some of these sort of shock jock type stories coming out around these issues. So, I just think it's an issue. It is complex, and the industry should be allowed some time to think it through.
That's just reinforcing.
Not auto-consolidation though, but the insurance issue.
That's just reinforcing Ross's point, just the mention of members that have actually had their cover dropped off for a number of years. They need it reinstated. This potentially can magnify that risk.
Yeah.
So to bring us back to one of the topics that was raised there, though, we were talking about there needs to be a transition period. There needs to, you can clearly, it's obvious listening to the entire panel that no one believes that this is anything that can be done quickly, and that there's a whole lot of loose ends that need to be sorted out before you can move forward. So looking at the sort of program that was in place with respect to Stronger Super, it sounds to me, as a journalist, that auto-consolidation is something that's going to take a bit longer than the government might have originally envisaged. And I'll go back to Tim on that, because he's the guy who's been sitting on some of the committees. So what's the view there?
Well, I suppose if we look at the timeline, 2013, where the government's currently saying will be super stream ready. By that it is electronic rollovers and electronic contributions, although contributions won't be mandated for some time after that from employers. But between the administrators, and we sort of Pillar and AAS in collaboration with super partners and a group of the retail funds, have already started some electronic rollover work. So the mechanisms, the operational mechanisms are starting to form and will be in place in 2013. In terms of the legal mechanisms and the insurance, and there's a policy mechanism around insurance, let's see how the government responds to that. From a transition, the other issue I see from the transition perspective, and again, it hasn't really been raised in any great form yet, but it's the cash flow element. Once we start washing, effectively 25% of accounts in the system, funds cash flow, particularly the smaller funds. I don't think that the larger funds shouldn't have an issue with that, but I think a lot of the smaller funds, where they have 25% of their accounts, what's going to be their cash flow burdens. I think that's an element we'll have to think very carefully through, and particularly from the transition side. So I think the operational element, and if we reuse that, will be largely there. But in terms of the policy, also the cash elements and some policy elements around insurance,